Hello, bright and shiny beacon of light. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. Off camera tonight, we have Jessica back on the chat room. Woohoo! Running all things chat related. I'm going to take a few deep breaths. This is a really, really interesting day, week, time right now. I've been thinking about how we start tonight's YouTube Live. It was going to be about raising your frequency, raising your vibration, and I feel that's very important. But I actually feel it's even more important that we go to a place of love and light during this time. And I don't necessarily mean that as just this warm and fuzzy kumbaya, let's bring love to everything. Although kumbaya, let's bring love to everything. But the question is, how do we bring love to the events that are taking place right now? And these are local, they're statewide, they're national, they're now global. These events are game changers. And I think it could be a huge, huge positive, despite all of the tragedy that started this. And it's true, things need to be changed. No more. No more. But it needs to be changed from a place of love. The question is, how can we go from darkness to love? How can we go to a place of love in our hearts? That will make the greatest difference. So when we're talking about raising our vibration, what we're really talking about is going from darkness to the light. It's no wonder the protests during the daytime. Heck, there are images today of people in Minneapolis of cleaning the streets. There are images of policemen, like in New Jersey, walking hand in hand with the protesters in the light. But then something strange happens once darkness falls. That's why we all get to go to the light. We must all stand united in the light. That's what we're talking about here tonight. When I talk about raising your vibration, when I talk about going to the upper room, what I'm talking about is how to stand in the light, be the light, resonate in the light, how to bring in the light and lift others up into the light. Officers marching together with protesters. That is about being in the light. What we don't want to do is go to a place of hatred. That's going to the dark. That's going to the fear. That's going to the very thing that will flush us down. So now is the time to stand strong, to stand in your conviction, to stand in your strength, whether that's at home, whether that's out, wherever it is, but to do so from a place of love. I've only been to one, I don't even know if I can call it protest in my life. It was a peace rally back in, I was going to CSU. I'm guessing around 2000 and 2001. And the words of Mother Teresa were ringing in my head. She said, if you hold an anti-war rally, I shall not attend. But if you hold a pro-peace rally, invite me. What she was saying is I can feel the resonant frequency of being in the light versus being in the dark, being in a place of love, being in a place of fear, being in a place of opposition, what we resist persists, versus being in a place of communion, of welcoming in. And I am not saying it is easy at this time. Nothing could be further from the truth, but nothing perhaps could be more important. Mother Teresa has gone on to say, if I ever become a saint, and I believe she has, I will surely be a saint of darkness, for I will be continuously absent from heaven to light the light of those in darkness on the earth. In other words, even when she gets sainted, her job won't be to hang out in heaven, but to bring a light to those in the darkness here on earth. That's what you and I get to do. That's what the whole concept of shine bright is. You are the light. You came from light. You couldn't be anything other than light, no matter how much you tried. And if you're attracted to my energy here this evening, You know you've got it going on, even if you don't know how to bring it. God, I'm thinking of Minneapolis police. There was a tweet that I saw earlier today of them last night going down the street, intimidating people, screaming at people on their patios, and then firing tear gas canisters and paint canisters at people while they say, light it up. Well, they got one part right. Light it up. That's what it means. That's what she's saying. She also said, do not wait for leaders. Do it alone, person to person. Bring the light. That's what we get to do. That's what she meant. She called it living in the gospel. I'll call it living in the light. That's what we're all being called to do. Not to go to a place of darkness, but to elevate ourselves and others to the light. How do we do this? First, with the language in our heads. Is our language piss and vinegar? Is it vitriol? Is it anger? Is it aggressiveness? Or is it love? And if it is anything other than love, catch it, flip it. Got my gold coin right here. It's always the opposite side of the coin. If you've got anger on this side, simply flip it to love. I'm so mad at what they did. I can't believe they killed George. I will send love. I will be the love I want my kids to see. And I will start with it in my head. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel really, really wounded. It's okay to go, this is it. I'm not taking this anymore. That's totally all right. Things beautifully have to change. That's why coronavirus, some people called it, one of the guests on the show called it, Angel Corona or Saint Corona or Mother Corona. I will say Corona is a magnifier of everything that gets to be changed. We had Michael Lennox on the show twice. Back in December, he was calling, or I guess I called it based on his predictions. I called 2020 the year of, let's see if we can get the word right. Not of revelation. The word is escaping me right now. Forgive me. It is a year of bringing things out from under the carpet that need to be brought into the light of day. This racism, this injustice, this abuse, this has all got to stop. How does it stop? By bringing it out into the light. Well, the first abuse actually that gets to stop is the languaging we're speaking to ourselves in our heads, myself as well as anybody else, although I hope I'm doing much better at this point. But we are each abusing ourselves. We are each oppressing ourselves. We are each screaming at ourselves, and we are each putting ourselves down. No mas, no more. It's got to stop. You want to raise your vibration to the upper room. Very simple. Stop picking on yourself. Stop belittling yourself. Stop being apologetic about how great you are. Oh, no, that's not me. It's just bullpucky. There's a technical term. Bullpucky. Catch it and stop it cold. COVID amplifies it. That's why tensions are at an all-time high right now. This virus is an amplifier. The astrology we're going through right now is an amplifier. People in politics are one heck of amplifiers to help bring things into the light, whether they mean it or not. And so our job is to identify what's going on in our minds and bring it into the light. What does that mean? It means dropping down from that worried, feared, scared mind. Oh my God, I can't believe how many times I've checked today going, I can't believe it started. I can't believe it started. And then I have to drop into my heart and flip it. I have to look for dwelling in my heart. How can my heart help this situation? How can my heart help tonight? When I was originally planning this when I was originally planning this YouTube Live tonight, the topic was going to be quite different. but my heart said, you need to speak about this. And I had to drop down and listen to my heart. In fact, I went into my automatic writing. We've got another class on automatic writing coming up on Thursday. I went into my automatic writing. It's a channeling process where you hear from your angels, your guides, your inner wisdom. And I said, how do I do this tonight? And they said, drop into your heart, get out of a place of fear. If you feel into your heart, if you breathe into your heart, any fear that you have will melt away. I know that we've talked about doing a YouTube live on heart coherence. It'll be probably one of the next couple weeks. But if you simply breathe in and out through your hearts, and I would say breathe in and out to the hearts, thinking of puppy dogs and rainbows. What do you mean by that? Breathe in and out from the heart, thinking of the most positive, beautiful, heartwarming thing you can. You drop down out of the worried, fearful mind. You get into a state of heart coherence. You drop down into the heart. That's what I call being an open-hearted warrior. An open-hearted warrior isn't grabbing the sword and going lopping off people's heads. The open-hearted warrior is doing quite the reverse, is leaning forward with an incredible power by being open in the heart, shields down. There's nothing scarier than someone who is not afraid. It freaks someone out. That's why I've heard stories, I don't know if it's just from comedians or not, but if you're about to get mugged, pretend you're completely and totally insane. You'll scare the mugger, they'll run away. Please, I'm not sure that'll work, so I'm not advising that you try it. But the concept is very true. Nothing scarier than somebody who's not afraid. That comes from dropping down into your hearts. It also comes, if we want to be the light and bring the light, it's not just how we treat ourselves. It's not just how we get into our hearts, but it is how we treat others. How we treat ourselves, and then how we treat others. Now, typically, we do tend to treat others better than ourselves, which actually has some cultural biases and challenges that we get to work on. But I'm talking about taking things to a whole new level. If you want to elevate yourself, elevate others first. I know the expression, you can't love another until you learn to love yourself. Well, I'm going to say, let's bypass that whole discussion and go to, if you want to feel better, help someone else feel better first. That's dopamine. That's cortisol. Well, not cortisol. That's dopamine. That's oxytocin, the love drug. When you help somebody else, you get all of these hormones, all of these positive drugs that are going through your body and don't cost you anything, because we are wired to take care of others. So Friday was an interesting day, put that in quotes, interesting day, where a minor personal incendiary device was basically dropped into my lap about 15 minutes before an interview. And before an interview, admittedly, my nervous system is revved up because I'm about to do an interview. And so this, what appeared to be temporary bombshell of news hit me. And it was really more than I could handle. Once I got centered and grounded, even just a little bit, what I did was immediately got on the phone, or in my case, Skype. And I started calling people who I knew were in need, people who were struggling, people who were suffering, people who were feeling bad. And I gave all these free sessions, free mini sessions to help people feel better on Friday afternoon. Why? Well, first off, I wanted to help them feel better. And because helping them to feel better was the most surefire way to shift my energetic state fast and get myself out of my head. The most important thing to do when you feel fear, you feel darkness, or you feel bad is go to the light and bring it. Bring that light. Call somebody up in need. See what you can do to help somebody out. Now let's look at a few other ways. So I had a phenomenal interview, I guess it was Friday morning, with Clint Ober, the father of earthing. And I'll see if we can put a link down to find out more about his earthing stuff here. We had the father of earthing on the show, and he was talking about how when we go to a place of fear, what's really going on in that place of fight or flight is we're creating a cortisol response in the body, which produces free radicals that rev up the nervous system, basically free roaming electrons, we could say. And unless those, and this is a really non-scientific way to put it, unless we can drain those electrons from our body, our system starts revving up more and more and more and more. We basically spiral into a freak out situation. And he said the simplest, easiest way to get out of a freak out situation is to get in resonance with the highest, with the most powerful tuning fork on the planet. And that tuning fork, of course, is the planet. When we are plugged into the earth, when you go barefoot on the earth, when you sit on the earth, when you lay down on the earth, there's a reason you take off your shoes in the grass and you go, ah. It's because you've just drained your fear and tension away. Quite literally, you plugged into the largest reserve of, I think it's called negative electrons on the planet, and you've drained away your positive ions, basically the stuff that allows you to shuffle around the room and go zap to somebody else. You're actually carrying that voltage on you, and it gets to be drained away. So Northern Hemisphere, we're heading towards summertime. It is a perfect opportunity to get barefoot, get your feet on the earth, get your butt on the earth. Or if you can't, with my regular computer, I have a grounding mat. For this, for tonight, for here, I actually have a grounding plug that is literally plugged into a, let me see if I can reach one here. Plugged into a patch like this, snapped on, and I've got it on my left knee. It doesn't technically matter where I have it in my body, but it helps keep me grounded and connected to the earth, which makes me feel better. And because I got, I think, my second longest run of the year earlier today with about 3,000 feet of elevation gain and one heck of a skate yesterday and all sorts of other things, it helps me work on any potential inflammation in the body. Go to the earth. It's the biggest tuning fork out there. We can also change our attunement, change the chords, change the frequency that's playing in our mind by looking at what we're watching and listening to. So I admit it, I've been glued to what's going on because I'm looking at this, looking for that edge, that glimmer of hope, because I know it's there, that something positive can come out of this, because I feel at times of great turmoil, turmoil is actually creative energy that doesn't know where to go. Sure, we can go down the tubes, but we can also go to a hugely positive direction. And I'm very positive about this. But if I watch this too much, I get in attunement with the news. And I better get myself in attunement with something else. So what did I do? Well, it's time to mow the lawn. So I went outside to mow the lawn. I put my headphones on and I listened to, on Pandora, I think it was a radio station called Happy Music. And so I'm listening to all of these beautiful tunes, even as I have this either implement of destruction, or if you want to call it sculptor of the lawn, giving the most beautiful haircut, manicured haircut to the lawn as I could. And instead of resonating with the frequency of the mower, I felt great afterwards. Now, it's probably not the safest thing, but I know there aren't too many rocks in the lawn. I was wearing sandals as well, so that my feet could brush against the grass and brush against the earth. Watch what you're watching. Make sure you take an antidote. If you dive in, find something to bring you back to a higher frequency. Look at what you're listening to and continuously ask yourself, how is this making me feel? For instance, there are, quote, mainstream news sources out there on both sides right now that are exceptionally inflammatory. I won't touch these with a 10-foot pole. Usually I call news negative worthless stimulation. Right now I'm calling it WTF. Oh my God, I can't believe what's going on. So I get in, I look at the most unbiased, put that in quotes too, sources that I can, and get out. But I am continuously asking myself, how does this make me feel? So important that everything you ingest right now with ears, eyes, nose, mouth, whatever it is, you ask, how does this make me feel? Even just doing that, slowing down my voice. I'm grounding, I'm anchoring, and I am literally ingesting the words that are coming out of my mouth. Because not only are they broadcasting to you, but they're looping right back into my ears. I remember being at a museum of science in Boston way back when I was a kid, and they put headphones on us. And the headphones would have like a 10th of a second delay to them. And you'd hear your show going right. Yes, because we depend on the feedback loop of hearing ourselves. So if we're speaking to us like this right now, if we're going, I got to get this done, I got to take care of this other thing. Oh my God, have you heard what's going on? Oh my God, out. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. What you're doing is putting yourself in the lowest vibration place possible. If you go, let me look for some positives here, even if they appear on the surface to be few and far in between. And let me speak about them slowly. Let me speak about them through a nice nasal breath. And let me breathe down into the belly as I'm speaking them. It changes everything. Of course, there's also tapping. Tapping I've covered in so many YouTube lives that I'm not going to cover it today. But you can certainly go and take that fear, be tapping. I love myself fully and completely, although I'm completely beside myself, freaked out and upset by what's happened this week. I love myself fully and completely, even though I love myself fully and completely. Tapping can always help you feel better. Although I'll encourage you, if you do EFT tapping, which is a process where you basically go to your autonomic nervous system and you short out the sympathetic nervous system, or basically call in the parasympathetic rest and relax response. If you do that, make sure you do a round or two of positives at the end. Speaking of the end, such an important piece of the puzzle. And I was a former professional athlete. I bring that to me, to my spiritual practices. My favorite spiritual practice on top of automatic writing is movement, like a peace march. Haha. When we get angry and hostile, it's often stuck energy, tension, frustration, a lack of being heard, a lack of energy being allowed to move, a feeling of I can't get going, or I can't be heard, or I can't believe we're still here. That's the frustration on the streets today. That's why a peace march can be so incredibly valuable. We're taking that energy and putting it into movement. When we put one foot in front of the other, that stuck dam inside of us bursts and the energy begins to flow. Anger dissipates, fear dissipates, ideas start to come to mind, positive ideas. Okay, I'm going to go to the protest during the day, and in the evening, I'm going to bring myself maybe home where it is safe, and I'm going to write a letter to this person, I'm going to write a letter to that person, I'm going to contact this person, I'm going to do the other. Ideas that came to you while you were moving. Now, for me, I would say particularly out in nature. Having been even in a peace rally, there's a funny energy to these gatherings, and it's easy to get stuck and hyped up in a place of fear. But when you get moving out in nature, it all dissipates. And the funny thing is, movement can come by putting one foot in front of the other. Movement can also come with a pen. I have an exercise you can do if you're feeling fearful, afraid, angry, injustice, anything of the above, is you can do an ego dump. You can grab a piece of paper or journal, if you don't mind tearing out sheets of the paper from the journal, put pen to paper and dump down all of the stuff that's ticking you off, that's frustrating you, that's making you angry or upset right now. And then tear out those pieces of paper and shred it and be done with it. It doesn't mean the whole world is perfect, going back to kumbaya and we're all holding hand in hands, although let's do kumbaya and hold hand in hand. But what it does is it helps remove some of the tension because it got that energy flowing. Tearing it up, the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between the written word and the actual event or emotion. So you feel much, much lighter. But then also go into a second party writing exercise. Our favorite. I'm exceptionally biased because I've seen it work for so many people. And it's been the life changer, the game changer for Jessica and myself. Go into automatic writing. Again, we've got that course on Thursday. When you go into automatic writing, what you're doing is you're going, angels, guides, God, source, universe. What the freak is going on here? What can I learn from this? Why is this happening to us? Why is this happening to our community? Why is this happening in the year 2020? Why does it seem like we've gone completely backwards, which we have not? Because the world is always spiraling upwards. Awareness is always changing. Our awareness is changing. Our consciousness is always expanding. So it is never, it feels like in so many ways we've gone back to the 60s and gone, oh my God, have we progressed at all? Oh, heck yeah, we have. We're so much more awake. We're so much more aware. We're so much more in tune. We're so much more spiritual. And you go, no, Michael, that's not what I'm seeing. Objects in the mirror are not as they appear to be. We have grown tremendously. But you can put down pen to paper in your automatic writing and go, what is going on? God, for instance. And God writes back. It's the coolest thing in the world. It's where every one of these YouTube lives come from. It's where Inspire Nation show come from. It's where everything good that has come in our lives in the last decade has come from automatic writing. And I'm guessing Jessica is putting down a link. It's automaticwriting.com if you want to find out more about it. We've got a class on it on Thursday. It's also a video program that can walk you through it step by step. So you can plug in with angels. You can plug in with guides. I'm an angel guy. I'm very grounded, but I also do believe in angels. And right now I'm going, angels, guides, Mother Earth. What in the world is going on right now? Please tell me, please share with me. And then please help me to be a part of the solution. A big part of this is moving past the fear, moving past the injustice, moving past feelings of helplessness and hopelessness. And we can do that not just in our automatic writing. I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But we can do that by serving our fellow man or woman. This is not the time to go it alone. Whether you're out in the streets, whether you're behind your computer, whether you're on the phone, whatever it is, now is the time to serve your fellow man or woman in any way you can. It's our time to come together as a group to transmute this pain and turn it into love. That's why I'm so incredibly bullish about the future, even though certainly if you watch the negative, worthless stimulation or hear the sirens or see the smoke or the broken glass or the, you can feel, oh my God, the world is going into darkness and chaos. When you feel, oh my God, the world is going into darkness and chaos, call somebody up who needs your assistance and go, how can I help? grab your lantern and go to a place of light. Go to a place of love. I have a dear, dear coaching client in New York City who got COVID-19, who's been coming back, who hit a place of darkness. He's amazingly lucky, though, because he still has a job serving people. And I said, be the ambassador of love. Guess what? He took that to heart, tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold beyond what I ever imagined he would do. And he's changing lives from the work that he is doing by saying, how can I be an ambassador of love? And that's my call to you right now. Yes, we get to make change. Yes, there's something incredibly positive that can come out of this. Yes, it's really scary. The scarier it gets, the more you go to love. It's a conscious choice. Again, going back to things earlier, watch the language in our heads, watch our dwelling in our heart, watch how we treat ourselves, and watch how we treat others. But go to a place of love. Be the ambassador of love. That's why I call tonight's talk, how to be the love and rise above the fear right now. So when you get done with this tonight, and we're going to do a beautiful peace meditation in a little bit, a group intention setting meditation. I think that could be really powerful tonight. But when you leave here tonight, if you find yourself going to the news, please call a friend, call a loved one, go and look for some positive news stories. Go and write 3, I think it was Sean Acor. I had him on the show almost 5 years ago. He was a White House advisor during the previous presidency whose focus is on positivity. And he said each morning you can start your day by sending 3 to 5 emails or texts to people, not looking for anything in return, but simply sending a positive message to them. So tonight, if you get done with this and find yourself going down the hole, going, oh my God, what's going on? Myself included. Let's each of us write 3 to 5 text or emails to people we care about, randomly sending them love and light or giving them a positive message. And hopefully they'll do the same for someone else as well. And let's have a wave of love and positivity, and most importantly, light wash over the entire world. That's what it means to be the love and rise above the fear right now. So I'm going to open it up to questions now, and then I will probably talk a little bit more about automatic writing coming up. Let's open it up to some questions.
Ordinarily, if you weren't doing YouTube lives or interviews, would you be checking the news as much as you do?
No, not nearly. That's actually an excellent question. Is I've gone for large periods of time where I really step back and don't eat, breathe, or almost see any of the news. Now, we have hundreds of thousands of people who watch us on a daily basis. What does that mean? It means big news stories always chase us down. But I really want to be informed on a deep core level right now so that when I have this engagement with people, I really know what's going on so that I'm not going, SpaceX, huh? For instance.
Roz asks, can we do a tapping to clear tension?
Roz, I think what I'm going to do tonight is not a full tapping exercise, although let me feel into that for a little bit. I really want to do a group intention setting peace meditation. But let me feel that out, Roz, and see if anything doubles back with me.
You may have touched upon this during the last half hour.
Yeah.
But in case you didn't, when you do check the news and you've read something that is unsettling, or you've seen video footage of something unsettling, how do you deal with that?
So it's a brilliant question. And so I have not seen the benefit yet for myself of watching what happened to George Floyd. So I have not watched that video. I did catch a Twitter, as I was mentioning to people earlier, I caught a tweet earlier this evening of police walking down the streets of Minneapolis, screaming at people who are on their patios with so much anger and fear to get inside the house. You're not allowed to be outside. And then at this woman, and I believe it was her daughter, young daughter, shot them with a paint. It's like a tear gas canister, but shot them with a paint canister while they were in their own house. They were on their deck and they were running for cover in their house. And such a wave of fear and anger came over me that the first thing I had to do was recognize the fear and anger that had come over me. So I couldn't push it away. I actually had to be with that emotion. And then I had to send those officers love. And I had to realize that those officers were scared on the streets. Doesn't mean what they're doing is right. Not saying that at all. But I had to try to illuminate their hearts. And then I had to get the heck out of whatever I was looking at and find something positive. That's when I tripped across the story of this town in township in New Jersey, where the police officers years ago basically did what REI did. And they closed down the police force and they reopened the police force as a co-op, as a town co-op. And so the police officers went and the police chief went in uniform, linked hand in hand, basically, I guess no social distancing there, with the protesters at the front of a peace march. And I found that and I'm like, woohoo! That's what it's about. Go looking for those positive examples. Share that light with the world. Had I not seen that tweet, which really shook me to the core, would I have found that positive story?
Our next question is it enough to work on your own frequency?
I think it's everything to work on your own frequency. Can we do more than that? Certainly. It's interesting. I go back and forth on this one, and I'm going to challenge myself on this evening. What I used to say is now is not the time to be a monk in a cave, that now is the time to be out there sharing your beautiful love and light with the world. Then recently with COVID-19, I was saying this is the time to be the monk, to simply work on your frequency in your house, and that is enough. Because we are swimming in a field, an Akashic field, an energetic soup that informs everything. However, life is still a two-step dance. We work on the inside and we step forward. We work on our spiritual practice and we root into the earth. I feel this is one of those and times. That's why I'm on the mic tonight, not saying, let's talk kumbaya about raise your frequency. I'm saying, no, call your neighbor, call a friend, call a loved one, call your congressman, call whomever you feel you are called to make a difference with your frequency up. Do you call them when your frequency is down? If your job is to raise their vibration, heck yeah. If your job is to commiserate, full stop. I'd say cut the phone cord, but nobody has a phone cord anymore. Shut that phone off until you're ready to help somebody else rather than dump on them. One is going to raise both of your vibrations up. One is going to drive you down into the muck and mire. But if your whole job, if you're saying, what I really want to do here tonight is simply hold space and raise my frequency with everything I've got, you go, girl, you go, boy. That is the greatest thing in the world.
Our next question is from Philip.
Yes.
Michael, do you think the media is aware of their constant churning up of the public with one catastrophe after another?
You know, this is a good question. And it's a question I've been asking myself of how can certain sides or certain things in the media be able to sleep at night? And my guess is they really feel they're doing the best they can with what they've got. I truly believe almost every single one of us, unless you're truly a sociopath, and even there you're probably operating by a rule set, we are trying to do the best we can in where we are at with what we've got. So the media believes that they're doing a service. So those on the far right, or those are on the far left, or those on the far, I don't know, space capsule, whatever, They believe that they have to overemphasize a story in order to get a lesson, a teaching across, in order to help us make a shift. And make no mistake about it, almost all media is trying to help us shift in one direction or another. It's hard, though, given that, for us to see the truth. I had on a Pulitzer Prize winning investigative journalist a couple days ago, Charles Duhigg, and his show comes out, I believe it's on Tuesday. Even there, it's still hard to figure out exactly what's the truth, because everyone everywhere is human. We all have our biases. We all have our filters. Even me, who likes to read, I have a hard time reading someone on one side versus the other, but I try as best I can to get a really balanced approach. In fact, when I go to look at news, the negative worthless stimulation, I will type in a particular news source, and then I will type in bias, so that there are reporting agencies out there, and of course we have to watch the bias based on them as well, that will talk, is this neutral? Is this right? Is this left? The whole world isn't right or left, by the way. There's no such thing as right or left. It's one human being. It's like one arm fighting with the other. It makes absolutely no sense at all. But I want to try to get the least manipulating media that I possibly can, so that as best as I can draw my own conclusions. Do I send love to people in the media? Absolutely. Do I think that they're deliberately trying to harm us? No. Do I believe some of it is incredibly harmful? Yes. But that's sort of like, there was a Buddhist teacher who once told us years ago that you say blessings with every step that you take, because you don't realize it, but you're killing microbes or ants with every single step that you take. Being human, the best we can do is the best we can do. Now, what we can do for the media and for everyone who is not, no, we can just do for everyone. Send as much love as you can. That's the best thing that we can do. We are all in this together. Whether we label somebody media, whether we label somebody politician, whether we label somebody policeman or woman, whether we label somebody our friend, we are all one, and we are all in this together.
From digital partisan. I don't want to discount the hurt and concern in any direction, but I keep coming back without making myself to feeling that this will get sorted. How could others get there faster?
And I'm guessing what you mean, digital partisan, is how can others find that faith that everything will be sorted faster? And I think it's by doing things like this, by listening to information like this, by shifting from that place to fear and to love. But it also comes, digital partisan, by being the example as best you can. We need to create pattern interrupts in the world. Now, the protests are actually, in a way, a very positive pattern interrupt. They're saying the old way is gone. We can't go the old way anymore. But we get to do personal pattern interrupts as well, which is to say the old way of thinking, of going down to that lowest common denominator, to going to the fear, to going to the darkness, cannot exist anymore if we are going to find light changes. And so to help be a pattern interrupt, go to love for everyone that you know. Call up those, even those in your circle who tend to operate in a place of fear, and do what you can to bring them love. No, you don't have to stay on the phone with them. And if they're an energy vampire, why would you do the tango with them? But if they're a loved one or friend who often goes to a place of fear, can you bring them even a little bit more love and light, so that maybe they will be at a little bit higher vibration? You see, we have 7, or depending on the calculations, because there are probably some people that aren't counted, 8 billion tuning forks on this planet. And there's something called global heart coherence. That was something I talked about with Howard Martin of Heart Math. I think of the most recent interview that we had, probably out on Thursday. Global heart coherence is that the frequency that I'm vibrate at, I hope, helps Jessica to vibrate at that, Or vice versa. I could be down here and she's vibrating, ah, and it helps bring the two of us up, and the two of us vibrating it, ah, helps bring you up, and then you vibrating at that higher frequency help bring somebody else up. And quite literally, if we have a tipping point of higher vibrating folks, it helps shift the entire planet. That's called global heart coherence. That's all of us getting into a higher vibrational frequency. And so that's where the job is played. And that's how we can make the greatest difference, both as an example and by raising our frequency up to the max.
From Vidya, how to raise your vibration? It's very hard to remain in high vibration every day.
So NVIDIA, it is hard to remain in high vibration every day. And I think it's an unrealistic request of us to stay in that higher vibration all day, every day. But what we can do is try to recognize it and bring ourselves back and bring ourselves back and bring ourselves back some more. How can I love myself up more? How can I ingest things that are more loving? Somebody just wrote flowers on here. I'm not sure if that was reference or not, but certainly how can I bring more flowers into the house and into my life? But continuously have reminders around to bring yourself back and bring yourself back and build in habits. That was the most important thing that I got out of my interview with Charles Duhigg, which I believe comes out on Tuesday. It's either Tuesday or Thursday, but it is about bringing in new habits. So during this time, all of our habits are thrown up in the air. We're not commuting the same way. We're not working the same way. We may not be working at all. Everything is changing, which means we're dangerous in such a positive way. I mean, dangerous. I mean, the old way of living is dead. We can create something totally new. So we can link in new patterns, new habits, new ways of being, of beingness, to be in the love more often. Your feet hit the floor in the morning, come up with 3 or 5 reasons to bring love to the world. You do your meditation, focus now on love. You go from your meditation, you go do some automatic writing, and you write to and from and about a place of love. You go out for that for a love walk. Maybe you collect some flowers on that walk, but link in new habits and activities to be in and about the highest vibrational frequency you can be. Link them in. Have an anchor. What's an anchor? So an anchor is, I go to brush my teeth. I pick up the toothbrush. Oh, before I even do that, I pick up my toothpaste. That's an anchor event. I pick up my toothpaste. What do I do next? You link it. I unscrew the toothpaste. There's the next piece. You squirt the toothpaste on, you brushed your teeth. What you had is an anchor and a bunch of linked events, and then a reward. Shiny, bright teeth. Anchor, link, anchor, event, reward. Anchor, event, reward. Anchor, event, reward. That is how we build new habits. And you can do this starting tonight, starting tomorrow, to bring you into that higher vibrational state more and more frequently.
That's it for questions so far.
Excellent. I must say, I like the people like Edward, people like Victoria. I don't know how they do this, that they can click so quickly on all of these beautiful little emoticons. That seems to be a skill, an emoticon skill. So I wanted to have a show tonight. I was thinking about it with SpaceX, and I wanted to have a show about envisioning our future, or about what's the word for it that I'm looking for? Envisioning, visualization. And rather than us doing visualization at this time for ourselves, I think it would be incredibly awesome if we took time each night before going to sleep and we visualize the greatest possible future for all of humanity. We are living in a collective dream or a collective nightmare. It's our choice. Does this mean we did something wrong? No, absolutely. We all chose to incarnate at this time to help lift humanity up, to help shift humanity. So we chose this time period, but we can choose the or something better. We can choose to take this opportunity and transform it into something incredible. Now, I could hear some people saying, yes, well, we can't change the police force. We can't change brutality. We can't change. Bull pucky. Again, that scientific term. We change it first in our minds because we are energetic spiritual beings having a human existence. And when that blueprint is strong enough among all of us, it shifts. And so if I was to give you homework tonight, so I have boot camps, I have mini master classes, and I love giving homework in those things to help shift consciousness and help raise the vibration of everybody in those classes. So I love to give homework. If I was to give homework tonight, it would be before you go to sleep. By God, shut off that news. And if you see the news at the last minute, then bring that negative energy, bring that darkness to this exercise with everything that you've got. But I want you to take 5 or 10 minutes as you lay on the pillow, which is no longer a pillow. This bed is now your sanctuary, and your bedroom is now your temple, and you're going into a state of prayer, a state of creation. And I want you to create the most beautiful, the most incredible, the most magical, the most loving, the most kumbaya future that you possibly can. For we are creators. Law of attraction, it's real. And it begins with our emotional state. I think somebody called it recently law of resonance, how we are vibrating. Vibrate at that highest state you can when you go to sleep. Think of the most positive possible outcome there could be. Focus on that with everything you've got for 5 or 10 minutes before you go to bed. And that can literally help transform and change the world. So I'm going to open it up to questions for just a few more minutes. I'm going to check with Jessica here. And if not, we are going to dive into a peace meditation here.
No more questions.
All right. So we're going to dive into a peace meditation. And I know there was somebody who asked earlier about tapping. We've done tapping a bunch, so you can find some things on tapping. I'm sure I'll do it in the next week or two. But I want to get us all focused together on a state of love, of being love, of spreading love, of shining love, and being that love and light to the world. So this is a very, very basic meditation, but with the power of the group together, we can help shift the planet. And certainly, what was I doing last night before going to sleep? I was in prayer. I was in prayer. I was in prayer. What was I doing the night before? I was in prayer. I was in prayer. I was in prayer. Why was I in prayer? Because I didn't want to see anybody hurt last night. And I want to make sure that we go to the light instead of toward the darkness. And so I was sending out as much love and light to everybody who was on the streets last night as I could. But not just to the protesters. I was sending out love and light to the police, to anybody on any side, so that we can stay in a place of love, so that we can dial down the fear, the anger, and the hatred, and so that we can make a super, super positive shift for the planet. I can't think of anything more positive we can do than send out that love and light to everyone right now. Right now, as you're hearing this, if you're hearing this live, 7:24 Rocky Mountain time, 9:24 in the East Coast. It's dark. 6:24 on the West Coast. They'll be getting dark soon. As the darkness comes over this continent, comes over this hemisphere, it is so important that we crank up the love and light with everything that we can. So what I'd like you to do is sit comfortably on your chair, kind of wiggle your butt, feel it against the chair. Feel your feet tapping against the floor. You can feel your hands against whatever you've got in front of you. So we're rooting into our body. Breathe in through the nose, down to the belly, and out through the nose. In and out. In and out. We're going to set a group intention as you continue to breathe in and out to send as much love and light to everyone in need right now. To all of the protesters, to all of the communities who've been downtrodden, to everyone who's lost their job or had their wages reduced, to everyone who's been treated unfairly or placed in a place of fear, and especially to everyone out on the streets tonight, no matter what side of anything they may be on, for there are no sides. We are all one, and we are all in this together. Now I'd like you to breathe in. Imagine you're breathing light into your heart. Breathe out, and imagine you're sending out love from your heart. You breathe in light to your heart. You send out love from your heart. In fact, you can put your hand on your heart, breathe in light, send out love. In light, out love. Now, as you continue to breathe in light and send out love, imagine with each breath that your heart starts to glow brighter and brighter. Starts off with a little speck of light in your heart. Starts to grow a little bit brighter. Starts to grow like almost a little sun that you've got beaming out of your heart. So when you breathe in light, you're sending out sunlight. And as you keep breathing in, your heart starts to glow brighter and brighter and brighter still. Can you see that glowing ball of light that's now your heart? If you extended your hands with your eyes closed, can you see the light emanating from your fingertips now? Your body is now infused with the light of your own sun. You're capable of illuminating the darkness now, anywhere, anytime. For you are the sun. If we looked under an electron microscope, you would literally see that every single one of your cells is glowing. It has its own corona around the cell, which means crown, and there is a corona of light coming out from each and every cell. You are a light-emitting machine, and you are a sun. And so what we're going to do now, as your sun inside of you is glowing so bright that your entire body is filled with light, like you're in one of those sci-fi movies, and your whole body is just glowing white, golden light everywhere. In fact, it's illuminating the whole room. So we are going to breathe in even more sunlight into our body, see our sun inside of us growing so bright. And we are going to send out some of that light and love to all of our family members in our home or everyone on our city block. Breathe in light. Send out light and love to our family in our home, on our block, or wherever our family may be. Breathe in light. Send out love. Now send out love to everybody in your neighborhood, no matter who or what they are or stand for. But send out all the love and light you can. Illuminate their lives in light. Send out even more love and light to everybody on your city block or in your neighborhood, completely illuminating the darkness so that even at midnight tonight, it is glowing at the equivalent of 12 noon on June 21st. Breathe in light. Send out light and love to everyone in your town or city, particularly those out on the streets tonight and those struggling. Breathe in light. Send out light and love now to everybody in your town or city that has the opposite viewpoint or stance that you have, particularly if it's those you would be protesting against. Send them all the love and light in the world that you can, for they are you. Breathe in light. Send out light and love now to your entire county, both to those you agree with and especially to those that you don't. Breathe in light. Send out even more light and love to illuminate your entire county of love to everyone everywhere in the county, no matter what they believe. Breathe in light. Send out love to everyone in your state or province, no matter their race, creed, sexual orientation, beliefs, whether they're Martian, alien, reptilian, human, it doesn't matter. Send out all the light and love that you can. Breathe in light. Send out even more love and light to everyone in your state or province, absolutely no matter what. Breathe in even more light. You are now such an amazing glowing beacon of bright light and sun, and send out all of that love and light to your entire country, everyone, everywhere in your country. Breathe in even more love and light, and send out all that love and light specifically to anyone in your country who has beliefs that you don't understand, that you don't agree with, that you may be angry, upset, or really, really ticked off with. Send them love and light. Breathe in even more love and light, and let's send out even more love and light to the oppressors, to those we don't agree with, to everybody on the quote other side. Fill them up with all the love and light you can and illuminate their lives for the good. Take in all that love and light you can, be that bright and shiny sun that you are, and send out all the light and love that you can to everyone on your entire country, no matter what. Breathe in again all the love and light you can, and now let's send it out to everyone in your country who is on the streets out tonight. Let's help keep them safe. Let's help keep them in a place of love and light, no matter what side of anything they are on, for there are no sides. We are learning and growing and expanding together as one, even if it does not look that way at all. Breathe in all the love and light that you can, and send out all the love and light to everyone on this entire planet, all of humanity, like the sun that you are, for the sun shines on everyone without discrimination, without judgment, everyone, everywhere. Breathe in all the love and light you can and illuminate the entire planet with this golden glowing love and light. Feel the entire planet, see the entire planet glowing bright. In fact, you could watch this wave of positivity, of love and light coming over and going around the entire planet from one time zone to the next, to the next, to the next, until the entire planet is filled with your glowing love and light. Breathe in love and light. Send it out to the entire planet. Breathe in love and light. Send it out to everyone in need. Breathe in love and light and see the entire world transformed by your love. We are one. We are all in this together. And you, my brother, sister, mother, father, daughter, son, friend, fellow human being, fellow spiritual being, you are a light worker. You are a light warrior. You are the answer we've been looking for. Your job is to simply do what you just did here tonight and bring all the love and light to the world you possibly can. You do that. You share your light with the world, and we can't help but trip over success and transforming to this planet to one that's vibrating at a higher frequency, that's vibrating at a higher level, that's gone to the upper room, and that is truly an example for the whole universe of going from darkness into the light. May you have the most beautiful, beautiful evening tonight. Say prayers for everyone in need. Connect with your angels. Connect with your guides. Come join us Thursday for automatic writing, where we will teach you how to do that. But be the love and light. Go to that positive. I understand wanting to check the news. I will probably check it again myself before sleep, but then I will transmute that energy just like you saw here tonight. The darker it is, first off, the faster I'm going to shut it down, because why would I imbibe that stuff? But the darker it is, the more light I'm going to bring to the world. This is a bifurcation of humanity. It's a choice, darkness or light. Let us usher in a new era of the light. Love you guys so much. Look forward to seeing you with our YouTube premiere Tuesday, our YouTube premiere Thursday. Come join us for automatic writing on Thursday night. Be the light that you are and keep on shining bright. Love you guys so much. And thank you so much, Jessica, aka the Pookie, for running the chat room here tonight. Love you guys. Woohoo! You got this.